Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Nvidia price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis, and starting today on the 1 hour chart because we have a multiple scenarios unfolding here. And we have of course three ways toward the downside, W, X and a Y here. For an X, meaning you are in an A, B and a C towards the downside, potentially as highest possibility here, hitting the 1.618, 1.38 between the 75 and $83. In case you are in a wave C towards the downside, you need an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, or you need an ending diagonal. In this case scenario, you have two possibilities, of course, where you have potentially a zigzag here and zigzag down. Potentially this can be a zigzag internally for a wave 3, 4, and a 5. However, what I have problem with is, of course, the structure of this wave 3, plus that it has hit the 1-to-1 fib level. Now it has hit it and retraced it, which is like a little bit suspicious, but still, of course, lowering the possibility. Meaning this wave is a little bit tiny longer than the wave 1, which is kind of invalidation of ending diagonal based on the rules. Therefore, higher possibility has to go for an impulse. An impulse can be given as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here for a wave 1. You got your wave 2, you're looking at an impulse here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're looking for a wave 2 again as double 1, 2, and potentially we're moving toward the downside with a wave 3, 4, 5, 4, and a 5. Hitting perfectly between the 1.618 and the 1.38. As you can see today, we opened the market with a massive drop and a gap in between. We were testing on Friday this blue box, which is between the 0.618, 0.786 for an A, B, and a C. As a retracement in a different scenario here, after finished a three-wave structure, a zigzag toward the downside, finishing perfectly at the 1-to-1 fib level and also with the fib time as well, very nicely finished. Now, in case that this is, of course, we move toward the downside, this scenario is still alive, even that we took the low. It can be definitely an A, B, and a C as an expanding flat. Still looking, of course, for higher potentially for the wave C. So let's move a little bit inside this one, since we have tested this and it has failed. Potentially this start to move for higher, still possible, of course. And we're gonna see, of course, the next blue box, which it might be much more given, much better given, of course, insight and confluence here with this wave 1, 2, in case we are in a 1, 2, yeah. So an expanding flat, first of all, we want to check the fib levels for a wave B. If the wave B has hit a perfect fib level as an expanding flat, here we go, 100% precision at 1.05. So this is a very nice indication that this might be a wave B, of course, for an expanding flat, knowing that, okay, this looks already that as three waves down, three waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. 5. Yeah, so very long wave, 5. However, don't forget that the 1.05 is the lowest, is the minimum target for, of course, for a expanding flat in a wave B. Meaning, it can still be possible that the price still take lower before moving toward the upside. And why I'm saying this, because of course, if this is a wave 5, meaning this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, you're still missing one more leg toward the downside. Therefore, once you take this level, potentially you will finish here a very nice ABC potentially, and then moving toward the upside for a wave C, in case we are, of course, still looking for a wave C. In case we are impulsive, as explained in 1212, you have to break the 1.38 to make sure that you have passed the possibility of an expanding flat, because this is the last possible scenario that it might, of course, bring you back to higher prices. The last chance is at the $98 for Nvidia. Now, if we move towards the upside, let's say, of course, we take this one more leg potentially, and then moving for higher. Now, I didn't went so much inside it, but obviously, it looks like even double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Yeah, so that's why I'm expecting still lower. But don't forget that this still might be very possible that you are in an expanding flat wave B. Why I give this a high possibility, maybe not the highest, but a high possibility, because of this structure. The perfection of this zigzag structure here at the 1-to-1 fib level and also at the 1-to-1 fib time. If you take the fib time here based on the wave B from the wave, if you take the wave B time or the wave C time, it has finished perfectly between the time here, between those time required for wave C. Therefore, this possibility is still very, very possible as well. Yeah, so we're gonna see how this is going to unfold. But basically, the 1.38 is your last chance. I would say this is the crossroad between, of course, moving higher or dropping down massively to the 1.61875. Meaning, potentially higher possibility right now is still to move for lower, but you can retrace towards the upside inside this blue box at any time for a wave C. Unless you break, overshoot this 98, 1.38, and you move, of course, to the 1.618 in a wave 3. And of course, if you are moving, if we move toward the upside for a wave C, we're looking for a wave C here as an expanding flat, of course. We're looking for a wave C for the 1.38 and 1.618. And this will project us almost whatever we drop here, any fib level, as you can see, is gonna drop us back inside, of course, the blue box that we have. So very, very nice confluence, I would say. And that's why, of course, the possibility is still high. Yeah, because everything is systematic with this scenario as well. So, yeah. So these are the two highest possibility, whether we are impulsive guys moving to the blue box, or we are still moving for higher. But what does it mean if we move for higher in a wave C? It's still the same scenario at the end. As you can see, we're gonna drop back down. And that means you are in 1, 2, 1, A, B, C, and an expanding flat for a wave 2, and then moving towards the downside. Unless you take the 886 in the top here, and then, okay, that was the confirmation that we're moving for higher. Yep, so that was it for Nvidia, guys. Let's see what's gonna happen. And of course, trade safe. The market is a very volatile and intense, as of course expected in the live stream yesterday. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye.